sometimes it's pre-verbal. Sometimes they dissociate it out and they don't really have a thought process, but their body took it. And sometimes the body just held it while they moved through it. Sometimes I find that patients will talk about it the same week that they dealt with it in their body without my prompting. It just happens. And then there's times that I increasingly know, you need to have you seen Kathleen Lowry? That's the acupuncturist on our team. Have you seen Kathleen this week? I see her tomorrow. You might want to talk to her, tell her that you're kind of out of balance. You were kind of out of balance. Maybe she can get you a little bit balanced in your energy. You know, one of our clients talked about how she actually set up her week so that she could see Simone on one day. Well, she saw me on Monday. She would see Simone on Tuesday. By Wednesday, I saw her twice a week. On Wednesday, I saw her again. She had been more opened up in her body. The stuff we worked up on Wednesday was always deeper than Monday, and partly because it was my second session, but also because her body had been opened up, and usually it was very related to whatever Simone had happened in that session. She scheduled her acupuncture after that and said that whatever got stirred up through the week, she found that Kathleen, where she placed the needles, that her energy would just release all of it at the end. By the end of the session, she was back calm and at peace, and she felt like it all just kind of released. So that's not everybody's experience. I'm just saying it was just one example of how one person experienced it and put it together. But it's the treatment, it's the power of the collaborative treatment teaming. I mean, that's the name of our training, is because that's what we're experiencing. And it is so exciting that we're trying to let others know what we're doing, how we're doing it, why it's important to do, you know, and address it. So I would also say if people are interested in that they should go to the website, consider, you know, attending. We still have spaces open. If you're in practice as a yoga therapist or a yoga teacher or acupuncturist, and of course as a mental health professional, because we're able to give CEUs to psychologists, MFTs, and LCSWs. And if you're a person who's not a professional, you're someone who goes to therapy or goes to acupuncture or goes to yoga, and this is of interest to you, it's okay to bring it up with those people and say, do you ever treatment team with other people? You know, would you be willing to talk to, you know, my therapist? And people may be more open than you realize. And if they're not, you can say, well, I heard this person talking about it, and then, you know, maybe they want to explore more and find out how to do it. But I think it's the direction we have to go in our field, not just mental health, but just healthcare.
Do you foresee yourself, Dr. Crim, ever having all of you under the same roof?
I don't know.
Same clinical structure?
I don't know. I don't know. We at one point we're all independent practitioners. Our offices are all in different locations in the South Bay of LA, and there are pros and cons to being all under one roof, and pros and cons to being not all under one roof. I think there was one point where we were going to go look at a building and be all together, and I think just the practicality of everybody had different leases that were up at different times, and it was a business decision in part, you know, but it was also that my clients know where to come to me for here, and these clients go here, and acupuncturist even commented the other day, she said, well, she's not like they're going to come into one building and do it all in one day. We wouldn't even recommend it, you know. So I'm not saying no, but this kind of virtual center is kind of what we call it, is working right now for us. And, you know, I think like I said, it has its pros and its cons. And there are centers forming that have everybody under one roof, and that could happen. I just think it's about us continuing to listen to what's building for us. I mean, we meet once a month, and we go over cases, and we've been preparing for the upcoming training, and that's focused us even more with that goal in mind. But, you know, we treat it as if we're all in one center, but we do it creatively, if that makes sense.
So if a person's going to come to this treatment team through you first, again, how do they contact you? What's the process?
If they want to contact me by phone, that's 310-371-2800, extension 1 pound specifically, but that's the main number. My email is Elisabeth Crim, PhD, @moonstonecenter.com, and Elizabeth is spelled with an S. And then they can go to the website, too. There's contact information there as well, and that's moonstonecenter.com. So, that's how they best can start with me. And I can get, even if they call me and they say, I've already got a therapist, but I was interested in the yoga therapist, I can, distribute all that information for them as well. So.
Okay, so we have those different ways of approaching you. I was so struck by the power of the mind-body issue that I decided to go ahead and get certified as a fitness trainer and certified as a nutrition counselor. Not in terms of being a master, like a master trainer and getting an MA in nutrition, but just that I felt like I could say to the client, this is relevant to you.
Yes.
This is all relevant to you. And some people would come and say, okay, I know I need to exercise. I know I need to eat and take the appropriate amount of nutrition in. And so we could talk about it very much in the present moment. And I even have equipment in my office where I get them to do movement so that so we can talk about the psychology and the feeling of moving their body and what it's like to be either estranged from their body or to be connected to their body. And then by way of hypnosis, what's so interesting is they're going so deep into a state of relaxation, but you can actually activate their body by talking about their cells. And people will come out and go, my goodness, I can actually feel the cells in my body wake up.
Yes.
So that what I'm trying to illustrate is that there's so many different ways or paths into the process of awakening oneself and being fully human and fully part of life.
Absolutely.
That it's nice to have these tools all over the place so that at any given moment a person's ready for it. You go, okay, let's just let's tickle the interest, let's tickle the concern, let's tickle the connection there so they can actually experience it in the moment. Right. And it sounds like your group has taken this to a whole other height of when a client is willing and able to invest in all of these dimensions. They will wake up all of these dimensions of themselves. That is a beautiful thing to watch them enliven all of these dimensions of themselves.
Yeah.
Close us out. We have a couple more minutes. Close us out with a story that you can tell confidentiality, being obviously completely honored, which you have done throughout.
Yeah.
But a story where you feel a person has come to this more holistic experience of themselves and been able to walk the path of life with such vigor and presence.
Well, we have one. I think it's the one I was already mentioning who set up her sessions in a way that, Monday she saw me, Tuesday she saw Simone, Wednesday she saw me, Thursday she saw Kathleen. So she had psychotherapy, yoga therapy, psychotherapy, acupuncture. And I can tell you that she had some chronic pain issues. She was not severely, I would say moderately depressed, spikes into severe. She also had a psychiatrist on that team. She was on antidepressants. So I really want to drive home that we're not saying no antidepressants. Several of my clients who are doing all this are also on antidepressants. Her relational dynamics, had a narcissistic parent, difficulty in relationships, very passive, not owning her place in relationships, is now reducing her therapy on her own, titrating us all out, and active in her life, has a boyfriend. She's in a relationship that's healthy and committed, and it doesn't mean they won't need to do couple work at some point, or she doesn't need to continue her therapy here. And, we increase it when it needs to and decrease it, but she's gone from at one point 2 times a week to now every other week, and with an eye toward letting her go. Does that mean all of her issues are resolved? No. But does that mean she's living her life with awareness? She knows when she needs to come in for more. She knows what to do. She has an active yoga practice. She is eating healthier. She has a partner with whom she lives and moves and has being with, and she's living. That's what the team says about her. We all go, wow, she's really living. She's living now. And that's really the goal. It's not perfection. It's living. Yeah. So that's what we're all about, and that to me is the power. The power of the collaborative treatment teaming is that the individual's getting to live, and So I know where it ends. So I just want to say thank you for having me on.
Well, everybody, you can reach Dr. Elisabeth Crim, spelled with an S, at, can I give the address to your location?
Sure.
Yeah, 3424 West Carson Street, and that's in Torrance, California, zip 90503. A phone number to reach at is 310-371-2800. And you can also look her up on Moonstone Center, spelled like it sounds, .com, moonstonecenter.com. And that, of course, is on the front page of this program, as it would be archived and listened to. And I know Dr. Elisabeth Crim personally, and she is an amazing therapist, deeply dedicated to the well-being of the people who see her, and very connected and involved. She's not aloof, not remote, and she's not there yawning through the session. She's present, and you will begin to tap into your own presence and the healing process. Dr. Crim, you're also not a stranger to difficulties and strains and stress. I appreciate you being so vulnerable and open about that during our time. And I think that's important for people to know about a therapist, that we're not sitting here from our Eiffel Tower untouched, but we are actually in the trenches right along with everybody else, and figuring out ways to live life fully, completely, but nonetheless understand what the trenches are like. Thanks for sharing the time with us.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Listeners, thank you for joining us, and talk to you later.